Unlock Your Heart by Philip Phillips, who is a secular artist. I like to play secular music that can be interpreted in a different way. So now I'm going to play To God Alone by Aaron Chest.
I don't stand on stages, okay? Grace, peace, and mercy unto you from our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, and greetings from Lutheran Lakeside Camp. When asked this last week what I was doing, because a lot of people kind of follow what I do, because they always want to know where Ranger Z is. I told them that I was going to get to spend the time on Saturday morning with the church basement ladies. My title, they call me Ranger Z, and they tell me when I speak, or when you speak, that you should explain who you are. I am the assistant to the director for development, property management, volunteers, and travel ministry at Lutheran Lakeside Camp. Try to get that on a business card. Okay? So, I have gone by Z for many years, and now it's just Ranger Z. Lutheran Lakeside Camp is 133 acres of hand-planted 50-year-old woodland. Piece of paradise. How many of you have ever been to Lakeside? Okay. I'm 60-ish, okay? And my association with Lakeside started 43 years ago. Okay? Sometimes I have to read things because I can't remember what I'm going to say. I am now a 60-something adult. When I look back on my teenage years, which was when I started at, Lakeside, my summers at Lakeside, it always makes me smile. It was Lakeside where I felt at peace. I started at Lakeside just after graduation, not knowing what direction I was going to go. And it was Lakeside that made me feel accepted. It was Lakeside where I could hear God talking to me, and it was Lakeside that I knew I was special. And then there were the fun things. Chasing polar bears down at the lake, early in the morning. Chasing ghosts through the woods at night. Sitting at campfire, watching the stars, singing songs, and worshiping God. Lakeside has given me so much. Of course, I couldn't work at Lakeside all the time. I had to go out and get a real job in the real world. I spent 25 years working with the chronically mentally ill and those with special needs. When the decision came to leave that special group of people and work with another special group of people, it was kind of a no-brainer. So Lakeside gave me my career. The second thing that Lakeside gave me was my partner of 33 years. The first summer I met her at camp, she didn't like me. But as things grow, it changes.
But it makes a good story.
She's been with me every step of the way, all these years that I have volunteered and worked and spent time at Lakeside. And the third thing Lakeside has given me is if I go back far enough in my history, there's always been a slap on the back of the head to go to the seminary. Never made it. Well, I shouldn't say that. I went, tried it in the 70s, didn't work. It wasn't the right time. I went and tried it in the late 80s, wasn't the right time. So at 58 years of age, Lakeside, and it helped me make a decision. And I went to the lay ministry school. The slap on the back of the head is gone. So Lakeside has given me three wonderful things. Enough about me. Let's talk about what Lakeside is. Lakeside is kids. From the youngest to the oldest. Our campers range in age from 6 months to 90 years of age. Anywhere from 500 to 1,200 campers a year at Lakeside. Now I'm going to get serious. How many of you have ever wanted to own a piece of lakeshore property and sit on the lake and watch the water? Okay. Well, guess what? You actually own lakeshore property on East Lake Okoboji. 133 acres of pristine woodland belongs to you. Doesn't belong to me. I just take care of it. It belongs to you. How do we get our campers? From you. One of the interesting programs that we started this last year is through LSI and the foster care system. There are 7,000 kids in the state of Iowa alone that are in foster care. Ideas come to fruition sometimes in the strangest places. We were sitting around at a table at staff meeting. Where can we get more campers? The thought got up that, okay, let's try somebody that doesn't get the opportunity to come to camp. So we contacted LSI, talked to Ruth Selman, and said, we have this idea, but we're not quite sure how to make it work. We would like to bring kids to camp. No problem, we can work that out. Funding may be an issue, but we can work it out. So then we had to sit down at the brain table again and figure out how we were going to do this. We passed the word among some of our member churches, which there are 127 member churches at Lakeside. All of a sudden, little churches that no longer had kids to send to camp were sending us money to send a foster kid to camp. Now we blended them in with everybody else. Nobody knew they were foster children. We had 24 foster care children at camp this past summer. All of them were so excited to be there, be a part of camp, be able to enjoy the mystery, the wonder that Lakeside has to offer. We didn't realize until after these camps that what an impact it had on these kids. Foster parents were emailing us, dropping us notes, calling. One foster mother was so excited when her 2 boys came home. She could not believe the change in those 2 boys. The one boy, his parents were gone. He had nothing other than this foster family. Her second son, all he had in the world was foster parents. They went home and it changed their whole life. Both of those boys came back, volunteered for a week at camp to help out in counselor and training. The one enjoyed it so much he came back the 3rd time. So the impact that this camp has on kids is a wonderful, wonderful thing. They both are looking forward to coming back, and they've even gotten their stepmother, or foster mother, excited about coming and volunteering at camp. So 3 lives in just one instance. Kids. My wife and I don't have any kids, but those 500 kids that run around camp in the summertime, they're part of our family. Back on the back table back there, I've brought you some cards with information about camp for kids. The new schedule for 2015, some of the things that our program director has gotten lined up. It's amazing to think that robotics camp. We tried something new this fall, and robotics camp. To watch these young people build robots, program them in their computers and send them running around the dining hall. It was a lot of fun. Not only did they get to experience that, but to put that together with camp life and all that goes on at camp. It was really something to see these kids when they went home. They weren't really sure they wanted to be there when they came on Sunday, but by Friday, they weren't sure they wanted to go home. So kids is what Lakeside is about. How many of you went to camp in your younger years? Cool. How many of you would like to go back to camp? You're going to have that opportunity. We have 2 new programs that we're starting at camp. We have, what do they call it? Prime time for the 18 to 40-year-old group. No? Did I say that wrong? Let me get my sheet. I got to get my brains out. Okay, I'm sorry, it's called Great Escapes Young Adults Camp, 18 to 50.
Keep it going.
Well, just a minute, I haven't gotten all the way through yet. Then, there is Primetime Camp for ages 40 and above. We already have registrations for that camp for people that want to come back to camp.
How far above 40?
Well, my oldest camper is 90. Oh, come on. Just some of the things we'll be doing. Yeah, it's going to be camp life, but wine and cheese around the campfire. Prime rib dinner prepared by Liberace's personal chef. Shopping. Boat rides. All kinds of things. Plus camp life. Campfires, worship, s'mores, stargazing, whatever. Your pastors will be getting that information. So your question to me is going to be, well, we don't camp anymore. What are your arrangements for us, the older folks? Lakeside is in the process right now of expanding into that region of higher comfort camping. No top bunks. Bathroom in each individual room. Your own air conditioning and your own heating. Laundry service, food service, pool boy, yard boy. You know, of course, that's me. I don't want to have a swimsuit covered up with a towel, okay? We are preparing for the future at Lakeside. The future involves all of you. It's a wonderful, wonderful place. Your churches will be receiving a new video, and your pastors will have instructions to show them to you. I am not technically inclined, okay? Computers and things like that, I could care less. Cell phones, I carry one only because I have to. But they tell us in the real world now you got to think like a 20-year-old to understand computers and all of the technology that goes with it. I have enough time, hard enough time thinking like a 60-year-old. Lakeside keeps you young. Ask your pastor. Our new facilities, there will be 16 motel quality rooms. And if you so desire, we have the 16 rustic cabins that has your own bathroom. You have to walk across the yard to the shower. But with these 16 new rooms, we are hoping, because it has been at you, people like you, your request, to provide a place to come to camp, to experience Camp Love. You ask any people out there today, 95% of people that you talk to that have been to camp have had their calling, their mission in life answered at camp. Lay people, pastors, women's groups, men's groups, confirmation classes. Lakeside has brought that to them. Over the last 54 years, if you remember what camp looked like, even when I started 42 years ago, the trees there at Lakeside were no taller than I am. Now we're looking at pine trees that are almost 100 feet high. We're looking at oaks that have been there for 50 years, so you can imagine how big they are. You go dig around certain trees on camp, you'll find shoes and hiking boots that campers and pastors and people have buried and left at camp because it meant something to them. Out in the woods, and it takes me a while to find it, but years and years ago somebody left a rake leaning against a tree. You can see a couple of tines left in the part of the handle, but that rake has grown into that tree. All of these special little things and many stories like them are all part of Lakeside. Last summer, while working on camp, of course you can tell wherever the ranger is because the ranger has his nice little red pickup truck with the flashing yellow light on it. And I was driving through camp and a group of campers waved at me and wanted to talk, so I stopped. And after we talked for a little while, one of the young guys, he says, I want to be a camp ranger just like you because I want to drive around in that little red truck. He says, what do you do besides drive around in that little red truck? Sure, it's a lot of work. It's a big place. I can't do it all myself. I have a program called Lakeside Rangers at Lakeside, which is a program for anyone and everyone who wants to come and volunteer at camp. I think I have a Lakeside Ranger in this, actually two. I have two Lakeside Rangers. Allie is one of ours. Leanne is one of them. Are you a Lakeside Ranger?
Yes, sir.
Did I give you a patch?
Yes.
Okay. Pastor Barb. I couldn't remember if you were or not.
Yes. One more over here.
Megan. 4 in one meeting. Cool. To be a Lakeside Ranger, all you gotta do is give me a call. I will feed you, I will house you. I'll make you work. About 10 hours is all I require. But you will be surprised how fast it goes. The first year I instituted the Lakeside Rangers, we had no volunteer program at Lakeside. Well, I shouldn't say that there wasn't. There was a volunteer program at Lakeside. Nobody ever came. I started out with a group of 17 people. Some of them even enjoyed it so much that they hauled their camper and parked it in the RV park all summer long, and they were there every Friday afternoon to help out Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. From that initial group of 17 people, I now have over 175 volunteers that come on a regular basis. Electricians, plumbers, carpenters, ladies like you that come and help in the kitchen.
Or not just the kitchen.
And not just the kitchen. We have paintbrushes that are specially designed to fit your hand. We have shovels and we have rakes that are specially designed for your hands. We have mowers that run, and we have tractors that haul, and we have, you get to be a kid again. Of course, I throw in a little worship, and I pray every morning that my volunteers will make it through the day. I pray every day that my equipment will make it through the day. My whole point of my story today is that Lakeside is for everyone. All are welcome. And I extend an invitation to you to maybe put it on your bucket list. To come to Lakeside. Or if you can't come to Lakeside, gather together and maybe send a kid to Lakeside. You will never know what impact it will have. Working around camp, I get in on lots of things. We have a 35-foot climbing tower out in the woods. And one afternoon I was out there mowing, watching the kids climb. And it's amazing what comes out of kids' mouths. Of course, when our kids come to camp on Sunday and Monday, you see them walking around like this, holding their hand up, but they don't have a telephone on it. Or they're walking around like this, no keyboard. By Wednesday, you see them getting involved. It was like Wednesday or Thursday, I was out working around the tower and kids were climbing on the tower. One young man was climbing up the side of the tower, was halfway up the tower, and he turned around and looked down at his cabinetry. And his pastor was in that group. And all of a sudden, he says, he says, this must have been just like what Zacchaeus saw when he was sitting in the tree. Oddly enough, that morning's Bible session or Bible study was on Zacchaeus. It took that young man climbing halfway up the tower and looking back for that lesson to hit home. It always surprises me what kids will say and what kids will do. I had a young counselor a couple of years ago who got a cabin of 5 young men. And from the minute those kids got there until Friday, they were the children from You fill in the blank. 5:30 in the morning. They were trying to build bridges across the tops of the bunk beds. 2 hours before the morning bell. Flashlights became lightsabers, and they were playing some weird combination of Star Wars and Harry Potter. They would throw rocks at each other. They would throw sticks at each other. They would give their counselor all kinds of grief. Of course, that was just Monday. Tuesday, it was a God thing. The skies opened up, it rained. Then the heat came. Then the mosquitoes came. And these kids would not let up on their counselor. He came to us saying, I think they're against me. By Friday morning, time to go home. Closing worship. Each cabin group breaks off with their counselor for one final prayer. This counselor came later on after everybody went home and told us during that last cabin prayer, these 5 young men that had been on him all week long told him, we want to come back. You were the best counselor we ever had. Who knew? So that's what kids in camp are all about. All of you can help that and keep it continuing. Because you never know. You never know. So in closing today, I'm going to and here again I have to rely on the paper because my brains don't always work well. You never know, and I'm basing this on 1 Peter chapter 3, verses 8 through 17. You never know when someone may catch a dream from you. You never know when a little word or something you do may open up a window of a mind that seeks the light. You may live, the way you live may not matter at all, but you never know. It might. And just in case, it could be that another's life through you might possibly change for the better with a broader and brighter view, it seems it might be worth trying at pointing the way to what's right. Of course, it may not matter at all, but then again, it might. You are a role model for young people and each other this summer. Model compassion, model acceptance, model love, model forgiveness, and model your devotional life so that the campers may see you in a different light. Try silently saying, bless you, to each person you meet. Try being in the moment, not thinking about the past or the future. Be aware of your surroundings. Look at everything around you with new eyes. That's what makes it. Every Sunday afternoon as registration is going on, I have the pleasure of loading people on the people mover, pulling them around the camp and telling them about him. Here again, I emphasize it's not my camp. It's yours. You are the spirit and you are the life that drives Lakeside. Children from your churches that come, children that are sent, you never know. You never know. May God bless you. Thank you for letting me babble. Like I tell people, I don't like camping. I don't like kids. But for 42 years, Lakeside has been a part of my life. Bless you all. Thank you.
When your tide rushes over me, there's only one way to figure out. Will you let me down? Will you let me down? Hey, now this is my desire. Consume me like a fire. I just want something beautiful to touch me. I know that I'm in nature's. I am down on my knees, waiting for something beautiful. Oh, something beautiful. Something beautiful. And the water is rising away, and for years I was carried away. Can't be sure when it will subside. I won't leave your side. No, I won't leave your side. Hey, now this is my desire. Consume me like a fire. I just want something beautiful to touch me. I know that I'm in nature's. I am down on my knees, waiting for something beautiful. Something beautiful. Something beautiful. In a day or two, I couldn't live like this. I won't stop until I found something beautiful. But when I wake up, all I want, all I have, you know it's still all I need, something beautiful. Hey, now this is my desire. Consume me like a fire. 'Cause I just want something beautiful to touch me. I know that I'm in nature. I am down on my knees, waiting for something beautiful. Switch ukuleles again. This song is called Hopeless Wanderer by the Mumford & Sons. Heard my voice. Shelter also gave me shade. In the dark, I have no name. So leave that click in my eye. I will remember the words that you said. It's clouded mind and a heavy heart. I was sure you could see a new side. So when your hopes on fire, watch you know your desire. Don't hold the glass over the flame. Don't let your heart grow cold. I will call you by name. I will share your own. But hold me fast, 'cause I know hopeless. Wanderer, hold me fast, 'cause I know hopeless. Wanderer. Wrestled along with my youth, tried so hard to live in the truth. But do not tell me all is fine. When I lose my head, I lose my spine. So leave that click in my head. I will remember the words that you said. You brought me out from the cold. Now how long to grow old? So when your hopes are fire, but you know your desire. Don't hold the glass over the flame. Don't let your heart grow cold. I will call you by name. I will share your own. But hold me fast, 'cause I know hopeless. Wanderer, hold me fast, 'cause I know hopeless. Wanderer, and I will learn to love the stars. I'm under. And I will learn to love the skies. The skies.
We counted our donations today. We have $242 for the camp.
Thank you very much.
We have another speaker, Diane, from our congregation, and I'll let you take over and tell what you're going to talk about.
Are you guys getting tired of sitting?
Yes.
Stand up and I'm gonna grab this stool from Alex.
I have 2 songs left for you, and the first one, there's a lady named Rachel Kurtz who did the youth gathering last time in 2012 in New Orleans. And she did a tour, and she went around to a whole bunch of churches across the country before the youth gathering and performed for them. And then at the gathering itself, she performed a few of her songs. And this is one of the songs she wrote for the gathering. I put my faith in God, but 2 to 1, proclaiming that your kingdom come, and every breath we drew was hallelujah, 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 when children are tucked in at night, parents dream of peace and light, and love and hope and freedom and a future. In the midst of war and poverty, the broken dreams and the mystery, the Spirit comes and brings us hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Alone and broken on the cross, his followers thinking all was lost, is scattered aimless like they never knew yet. Know that we are broken too, denying that we follow you. It's a cold, it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. This to the broken-hearted, to the captains and the prisoners, and our shame, our doubt, our fears, God's calling to unite. This loving eyes of victory march, proclaiming peace to those far off, with grateful hearts we raise them, hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Praise to the Holy Trinity, the Lamb has come, we are set free, and joyfully we sing loud, hallelujah. The Father, Son, and Holy Tide, we join our hands, our hearts in love, and raise our voices singing, hallelujah, 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 Okay, so I have one last song to share with you. And I don't know, do any of you guys know who the singer Pink is? Do I? She is a feisty young woman who sings pop music that is very, very secular. She has short, cropped blonde hair and like piercings everywhere, and she's rather famous. And I'm going to play one of her songs today, which doesn't seem like something you would play at a women's cluster meeting. However, I encourage you to think about this song, about your relationship with the divine. So it's written about a romantic couple and how they're having a bit of a falling out in their relationship, and yet they know that there's forgiveness there and that there's love there, and that means more than anything else, which I think relates a lot to our relationships with God. So as I sing this, understand that it's not about a relationship with God, but you can definitely interpret it as that, which I do. Right from the start, you were a thief, you stole my heart, and I, your willing victim. I let you see the parts of me that weren't all that pretty. With every touch, you fixed them. Now you've been talking in your sleep of things you never say to me. Tell me that you've had enough of our love, our love. Just give me a reason, just a little bit's enough. Just a second when I'm broken, just bend and we can learn to love again. It's in the stars, it's been written in the scars on our hearts. We're not broken, just bend and we can learn to love again. I'm sorry, I don't understand where all of this is coming from. Thought that we were fine. Oh, we had everything. Your head is running wild again, my dear. We still have everything. It's all in your mind. You've been having real bad dreams. Oh, used to lie so close to me. Oh, there's nothing more than empty sheets between our love, our love. Oh, our love, our love. Just give me a reason, just a little bit's enough. Just a second when I'm broken, just bend and we can learn to love again. I never stopped, you're still written in the scars on my heart. You're not broken, just bend and we can learn to love again. Oh, J-Dex and